Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of Vanilla Minecraft. I'm just trying to organize the remnants of many double chests that were strewn across my entire island, and I think that with that sand, I am finally done. It took, with this amount of shulker boxes, it took 3 full trips to get through all of the stuff that I had just in random chests across the island. Not great, and that took ages and ages to do, but it's finally done, and everything is finally in place, though I do think we need more storage. I mean, we have quite a bit already, obviously, but the big problem is actually the rainbow-colored blocks, stuff like the hardened clay, and the concrete, and the glazed terracotta. Stuff like that, and wool, of course, stuff like that, because there's so many variants of it, and because I hoard so many blocks at a time, it's really hard to keep track of. Like, my hardened clay, for example, or terracotta, this is going to be a little traumatic for some of you, but yeah. I did not want to sit here and meticulously organize it, because there's just not enough room to do it anyway. And my bulk storage room has quite a few chests that look like that. So I think we need a proper area to store all of our colorful blocks, though I don't really know where to make like a rainbow storage room of some kind for that, and glass and wool. Maybe that's a floating island project, but that's something we'll take care of another time. For today, what I want to do is head on over to our flower forest biome for the first time in quite a while, and try and work on that project just a little bit. So that's going to take a bit of a trek through the nether, not too long, but a little boring, so I'll bring you guys back in when we're over there and ready to get started. So here we are in our flower forest area, and honestly, I had forgotten that our portal situation over here is still kind of lame. Maybe we'll try and fix that today. Our weather is also a bit lame, apparently. That kind of sucks, but oh well. So, if you guys have forgotten this project, because it has been quite a while since we've been over here, this is our flower forest. And when we first came over here, the plan was to build a couple giant flowers that would hold some flower farms. Now, we've already done that. That flower down there is a dandelion farm, and this giant flower is the everything else farm, basically. It gets every single one tall flower. Not the 2 tall ones, and obviously not blue orchids either, since those need to be in a swamp, but every other type of flower other than dandelions gets caught by this one. And then all of the flowers gotten by both of those farms are transferred down to this little flower bush thing down here, and this acts as our storage room. So that's really cool. I like these builds quite a lot, though there are still some little things that I've been meaning to do and never quite got around to. Like, I want to tweak the top of that one a little bit, and I want to add a glass ceiling to this one and see if I can make it safe from creepers, because that worries me. Maybe even add in an AFK room. But those are all little things that I can take care of on my own. The big thing that I want to do today is try and work on the biome itself a little bit and improve the situation, because after we built these farms, which, like I said, were the original purpose and nothing else, I decided that I wanted to take it further and do something more with this biome, and probably make some kind of really crazy-looking fantasy biome of some kind. And today is going to be the first steps of that, and the first thing that I want to do is expand this lake right here. So I think that having big bodies of water is going to help a lot with this project, or at least having one big central one. The issue is that this body of water is not quite big enough as it is. I mean, our dandelion farm flower alone already takes up a really large chunk of it, and we want a lot of coastline to do things like build giant cattails and lily pads and stuff like that. So we need more water space. Now, thankfully, we are relatively close to the ocean. You can see it right over there. And there's also more in that direction, so we can utilize that as well. But I do still want this body of water to be a bit bigger. And in order to do that, well, obviously we're going to need to clear some lands out. Now, I think the best way to go about doing that is to clear out this area over here, and maybe make a direct path all the way out to the ocean. That way we have one continuous body of water, and we can do some cool stuff with it. The issue is that, well, this is going to take a lot of work to clear out, especially stuff like this. These very tall hills. That's going to be a bit of a bummer. So we're going to see how that's going to go, but, well, I think the best way to handle that is going to be some TNT. So I'm going to go back to my base and pick that up, and then, well, then we'll get to work. So here is our little ponds area now, and I think that this is a huge improvement over what we had before. Now, obviously, the area beneath the water is really ugly, especially from a high angle like this one, and we're actually going to go back and take care of that momentarily. But other than that, the shape and the sheer size of our ponds area just feels so much better now. So, like, for example, just so you remember just how small we really had as far as, like, a pond area before, this hard line right here, which I think is caused by this river intersecting, but this straight line that we've got right here, and then this line up here where the dirt and the sand has a break in it, those were the borders of our pond before. So everything above this line was not pond area before we cleared out those hills and stuff. So that is amazing. We've basically doubled the amount of space that we have, and it actually goes further than that. It actually goes all the way out to ocean, which is really, really cool. It means that if we want to build something really, really big, like a giant water flower or a bunch of them or something like that, we can just bring them out to the ocean where we have tons of space to work with, and they can still be tied into our build, which is really, really cool. Now, obviously, we're still going to be reshaping the terrain and stuff. I don't know if we're going to be keeping these two little hills here. I'm kind of on the fence about it. I'm going to leave them until we decide to do something specific with this area. But if we decide we want to put like lily pads or something out here, we'll just destroy them. And if we decide we just want to redo these and build something on top of them, then we can go that route. For right now, though, I'll leave them as they are. And there is also these islands back here. It's actually just one island that's split in half with a river. And I think that feels really, really cool. So we'll probably try and build something out there as well. But before I get too far ahead of myself, I think I'm going to come back and try and clean up the bottom of this pond area. So, like I said before, it's just kind of ugly how it is. Obviously, the blotches of stone and stuff, not that you can see them very well now, but the blotches of stone that we left behind are really ugly, and the default Minecraft terrain gen with the sand and the gravel and whatnot, I'm totally going to get creepered up here. The default terrain gen with all of the like blotchiness, it's not great. It's okay, but from a high angle like this, it feels strange to me. So I want to go back and get rid of that. Now, I'm not going to try and do anything too special right now. I'm mostly just going to go through and fix the shape and kind of smooth everything out. And then I'm also going to replace all of the sand, gravel, and clay with dirt. And that's probably what I'm going to leave it at for the time being. Just because while I would like to add more detail to it, I would actually probably like to go with the style we went with on our ponds back on our island, which is a mixture of dirt, coarse dirt, soul sand, farmland, and maybe brown terracotta. I can't remember for sure, but stuff like that. I think that would feel really good here, but I don't want to go into too much detail at the moment because we may want to, after 1.14 launches, integrate a lot of plant life into this. I'm not entirely sure if we'll want to or not, but if we do, I would like to... Hello, Windows. Don't mind me. Windows just popped up. I would like to kind of integrate the plants and then build around them and kind of really weave them into the shape of the terrain and stuff like that. So I'm going to hold off on finalizing the bottom of the ponds until 1.14, just in case we want to integrate the plants into it. For right now, though, I just want to clean it up, get a decent look to it, and maybe also clean up the coastline a little bit, take care of some of the roughness and some of the damage that we did with TNT, like right over there. And maybe we'll also add in a little build or two, just so our lake starts feeling a little more complete. So I'm going to go get to that, and I'll be back with you guys in just a minute. So here's what our pond area looks like now, and I gotta be honest, that was far, far more work than I gave it credit for. Like, I originally thought that this was going to be relatively quick and easy. I figured I had a good pick, a good shovel, I was just gonna go down there, knock it all out within like 2 hours, and I'd be good to go. But no, that ended up taking, I think, like 7 hours to actually reshape the entire thing, which, in fairness, I did reshape it more than I originally thought, but I also didn't think I was going to burn through tools quite so much. I had to go and repair my pick and my shovel, and then I brought back 2 more shovels and a pick, and, well, obviously those aren't in great shape anymore. So that was pretty intense. I think that the pond floor is feeling a lot better now, though. Obviously, it is just solid dirt yet. As I said before, we will be coming back down here to detail things out later on, once we figure out what we're doing with plant life under the water. And again, we'll probably wait until 1.14 to try out the kelp and see how that feels. But I don't know. When I was doing this, I thought that it may actually be a good idea to build our own plant life with blocks, kind of like we did in our coral reef project that we started. And again, have to wait until 1.14 to continue, because that would actually match our style, the kind of giant flowers and stuff. So that's a thought as well. I'll probably try out both and see what I prefer, but again, that's probably going to have to wait until 1.14. For right now, though, I think that the bed of our pond is feeling much, much better. It's definitely a more organic and interesting shape, and I think it's better overall. Of course, I did also add in these cattails and these lily pads, which they look a little strange. I was kind of winging it when I designed them. Let me take a little snooze here. So, I don't know. The cattails feel a little weird to me because they are kind of disproportionate. Like, the top part is a little bit big on them. And I don't really know how to fix that. I could try and make them taller, but then they might just feel too big. So, I may have to experiment with that a little bit, but I kind of like them. I think it's a cool idea. And, of course, the lily pads, which, again, I was kind of winging it, but I think they turned out okay. I wasn't really sure how to convey detail on these things, because we had to make them flat, but I wanted to have some kind of shape, so I had to do it via texture. I think it turned out okay. They could use a flower, though, you know, like the little water lilies that you see next to lily pads all the time. That would be cool, but I couldn't really come up with a design that I liked for it. So I'm going to have to experiment with that a little bit more as well and see if I can come up with something. I probably just have to kind of simplify my standards a little bit. But for right now, I think that that's going to do it for our ponds area. It's kind of weird. I felt like we had so much space, but we popped down a few things, and I feel like it's half gone already. We may need to expand it further. If we took out that mountain right there, we'd have access to the ocean more directly, and that would probably help, but I don't know. At the rate I'm going, I'm probably just going to destroy the entire biome and just have water everywhere. I don't know. We'll see how that goes. Obviously, there's a lot of other stuff we want to do here. I still have to landscape all along the edges, and, well, we still have the rest of the entire biome to go. But I don't really think we have time today to tackle another major project in this area. And there are a few that I really want to do, so that kind of sucks. But instead, what I think I'll do is try and take care of a few of the little things that are in the area that I want to finish, like our storage room over here. As I mentioned earlier, there's a few problems with it that I want to address, like the glass roof I wanted to put in and the AFK room. I'm going to go and take care of that stuff quick, and I'll be back with you guys to show you what I've come up with, and then we'll probably call it a day. So I've made a few small changes to our flower storage room. I've added a couple little flowers around the outside just to break it up a little bit. We may still add a few more of those. I also changed a few of the flowers over to white so that a few of them would stand out a bit more. And I also roughed up the edge along the outside here because, as you may recall, we dug a pit. Oh, oops. I kind of broke it at it. Well, underneath most of this area, there is a pit underneath the carpet, and the mobs don't think they can cross that, so they stay outside. But I kind of messed that up with part of what I did. We'll take a look at that in a second. I also added in a glass ceiling, just in case a creeper manages to get on top of our flowers. We don't want him dropping right down in and instantly blowing up, so I think that looks okay. It might just be because Optifine is getting rid of the borders, but currently it doesn't look too intrusive. And I also added in a bit of an AFK room. Just somewhere where we can hang out while our flower farms are doing their thing, and I don't need to be on constant vigil for creepers. Though, again, I did kind of break our pit by doing this, and I wasn't really thinking about that when I built it. So I'm going to need to redo this. I'm probably going to have to kind of wrap it around and go down a different direction, which should be fine. Maybe I'll even do something a little bit more interesting with it the second time around. But those are the changes to our storage area, and for now, I think that's pretty good. So I think I'm going to call it here for today. Now, we didn't do anything too super duper crazy, but I think we made some solid progress on this little fantasy biome of ours. We got the whole lake kind of reshaped so we have more space to work with. It's prepared for whenever we go back in to redo the bottom of it, and we even added a few little details as well. Now, on this note, with our kind of details and the kind of stuff we're building in this area, I would really like to know what you guys think we should do with this place. Because we're currently going a route of just building a bunch of giant plants, which is fine. That's really cool, and if we were to continue that, eventually this biome would look really awesome, just walking around and looking up at all the giant flowers and stuff like that. But there are other options as well. For example, we could build stuff like, say, a giant bee going to land on one of our flowers, or a giant dragonfly going over our ponds, or even something like a giant frog over here on the side. All kinds of, like, animal life and stuff like that. Totally possible. And it would be interesting. It would definitely feel cool, but I don't know if it's the best route to go or not. And then we could even take it a step further than that if we really wanted to and go, like, the full fantasy route and build stuff like mushroom houses or a giant beanstalk that has houses coming off of it, sort of like a fairy biome or something like that. So I don't know. Like, I have all of these ideas for stuff like that, but I don't know what the best route for this biome would be. So I would love to hear your guys' opinion on that, if you have any. So be sure to tell me in the comments below. And, well, with that, I think we're good for today. So I'm going to hop off here with my last firework, and I will see you guys next time. Hopefully you enjoyed our little project here today, and hopefully you have cool ideas for it, because I want to hear them. And I will see you guys next time. So take care. Bye-bye.